wrestling. He could see himself in the ring with bulging biceps and an evil sneer, basking in the spotlight as he heard the crowds jeer. But Andy wasn't tough enough. Big time wrestling can be so rough. No, Andy wasn't tough enough. So he started wrestling women. Andy always dreamed of wrestling.
Boy, did they have a lot of excitement at the Mid-South Coliseum tonight. And the match that generated the most interest pitted Jerry Lawler against TV personality Andy Kaufman. And here's what happened in that match. Now, Kaufman has a headlock on Lawler, but Lawler turns it into a suplex, and Kaufman winds up on the deck. He is hurt, but Lawler is not finished. Watch what is about to happen. Now, Kaufman is going to win this match. He's the winner right there, imagine. Okay. So Lawler is going to put a pile driver on. This is so illegal. And there's Jerry Calhoun trying to say, no, Jerry, don't do that. Don't do it. This is a pile driver, Mason, right here. And now watch. You think that doesn't hurt? Lawler put a couple of more on him before it was over. They brought an ambulance into the Coliseum. They put Kaufman into the ambulance, and away they go. Taking Andy Kaufman to the hospital. He is there right now as the ambulance pulls out of the Coliseum. Kaufman is in the intensive care unit at St. Francis Hospital. He has had a battery of tests, and it is believed that he is not seriously injured. He'll be in the hospital at least overnight. But one thing for sure, according to his manager, Andy Kaufman's wrestling career is over.
I'm his manager. I'm responsible for the growth of his career. And there's been such a negative reaction to his wrestling, especially on Saturday Night Live. Which was a show that his fans watched. Fans that loved him for years and years suddenly, as a result of that show, turned on him.
I'm not really a wrestler. Through the last couple of years, and I've been doing it in my concerts, I've learned a lot about it by just doing it. But I wanted to recapture the old days of the carnivals, where before television, you know, wrestlers used to go from town to town in carnivals and offer $500 to any man that could last in the ring with them for 3 minutes. So I figured if I could offer a prize and make it like a contest, it could get very, very exciting. And it turned out to be like one of the highlights, one of the most exciting parts of the concert. But I couldn't very well challenge men in the audience because I'd get beaten right away. I mean, most men are bigger than me and stronger than me. So I figured if I challenge women, there are enough women who are almost as big or as big as me, who they would have a good chance to beat me. Whenever I play a role, no matter if it's a good or a bad, you know, an evil person or a nice person, I believe in being a purist and going all the way with the role. If I'm going to be a villainous wrestler, I believe in going all the way with it. I believe in playing it straight to the hilt.
So basically, I could live without the wrestling.
Well, the first time I ever saw Andy was at the Improv. It was late at night. It was his breakfast show. He used to have this show that he put on, or that he and Bud put on at 2 o'clock in the morning, where he had his, it was the whole talk show format, where there, in between the breaks he would abuse Bud, as, you know, the man, he would break out of this very sweet character and become very abusive, and he had his talk to a, what was it, I think it was almost, he had this talk to a has-been corner, where he had people, former, I guess people who were not doing too well at the time, and he'd talk to them and ask them why things weren't going well. And I just sat in shock. It's like Andy's an acquired taste. It was something that you had to get used to over a period of time.
The first time I saw Andy was in 1974 in June, probably like around June 20th or something. I saw him at the Improv in New York. And he was this pathetic comedian who got up on stage and started reading from The Great Gatsby, and it was just like horrible, and we were so embarrassed that we were sitting there and watching him. And then all of a sudden he went into his Elvis imitation, and he was brilliant, of course.
One for the money, one for the show. To get ready now, go carry go, don't you step on my sway it you. You can do it.
was amazing. I saw him do outrageous stuff. It was always that he kept trying. He never wanted to be, he kept pushing it. So as soon as people saw one thing, he would do something else.
Thank you very much.
And he would speak in this little broken accent, the thank you very much little voice. And he would proceed to do impressions. He'd do an impression of Archie Bunker or of Ed Sullivan. And then he would go, and people would watch this and they'd go, oh, this is awful. This guy's terrible. These are terrible impressions. Then he'd say, I'd like to do the Elvis Presley. And he'd turn around and he'd strap on a guitar and a Presley jacket. And he'd turn back and he would be Elvis Presley. And by then the audience, this was the first time I saw him and I was shocked. I realized that he had really put me on.
It was like Andy made himself the premise and the entire world was the punchline.
At first, I wasn't taking it to Andy. Got special treatment. When I first got Taxi, he was this guy that, had a special contract and who was supposed to have split personalities. And, I was from New York, and, he wasn't, I thought he'd last about a half an hour in the neighborhood I was from.
The mountains are wide and the ocean divide. It's a small world after all.
I mean, I thought that there was going to be this other kind of human being behind this performer that I had seen, and there was, but it was even more bizarre than the performer.
If I had a lattice lamp for only a day, I'd make a wish and here's what I'd say. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. Okay, take it away, boys.
Part of the fun of seeing Andy perform was to see unsuspecting audience members sit there and go through the same thing that I had gone through when I'd originally seen him.
So anyway, it's called The Great Gatsby by S. Scott Fitzgerald, and here it is. Chapter 1. In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since.
It was always interesting. You couldn't leave an Andy show without some opinion. It was something that he was one of the only people I saw that could make you laugh, piss you off, and then make you laugh again.
All right, now look, let's keep it down, please, because, we have a long way to go.
When you watched his career build, especially like being on Taxi and Taxi being such a large hit, it was a little strange when you started seeing him wrestle women, because it was, you thought at first, how quaint, and then later on it was like he's checking out with the baggage. He started challenging these women, and, he'd bring up 5 or 6 women and he'd have the audience. And you could see the whole audience. I saw people standing back going, even a tragically hip Hollywood audience going, oh, this is fabulous, I really don't believe this. And after a while going, kill him! Get him, nail him, hurt him! And yelling, screaming. Not only the women, but the men would get incensed.
The great thing about Andy is that he knew how to get the girls that he wrestled so into it that when he beat them, they were humiliated.
How can an airhead learn the holds, the strategy which is required in a wrestling match?
Andy's dream, his dream when he was a kid, was to be a famous wrestler, a famous big-time wrestler.
God, man, woman, dog.
I wanted to beat the shit out of him.
I didn't know that it would go as far as it did. I mean, when he started wearing the belt, the intergender championship belt, that's when we knew things were going off.
And he went on down to Memphis, where every mother's son still worships the king. Old-fashioned values still mean something in the South, and every Peckerwood still runs off at the mouth. And he went to climb into the ring. Into the ring.
Now just be quiet. I will pay $1,000 to any woman that will beat me in this ring. I will not only do that, I will shave my head completely bald if I am beaten here.
When Andy ended up in the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee, challenging women, putting his own money up and challenging women in there, I really couldn't believe it. I absolutely could not believe that this was happening.
And any woman that will beat me, as an extra prize, she will get to marry me right here. She will take my hand in marriage. I will offer my hand in marriage if she beats me right here. That is a promise.
I'd been associated with wrestling a long time, but I never really saw some man challenge a woman out of the audience, and Kaufman does it. Andy Kaufman, of course, was a big star, and it's got to be the screwiest thing I ever saw in my life. I can verify the fact that it is certainly serious that gals are up there trying to take you apart, and you have no idea how good they are, how strong they are. You don't know when you get in there with them.
I've never seen them before in my life, and they just come up there, and I let the audience choose who I'm going to wrestle. I've never met a woman in the ring in the 3.5 years that I've been doing this who was able to pin my shoulders to the ground. And it's embarrassing, but I'll keep doing it because they keep saying they want to try. And as long as there's women out there that want to try and humiliate themselves like that. Now, I'm not saying women are mentally inferior to men, because when it comes to things like cooking and cleaning, washing the potatoes, scrubbing the carrots, raising the babies, mopping the floors, they have it all over men. I believe that. But when it comes to the wrestling, when it comes to them getting in the wrestling ring, there's nothing up there. They're all oatmeal north of the eyebrows. They're all, we Tina for brains, you know what I mean?
I just thought he was misguided terribly. He's a real nerd, a real jerk. He is.
I will pay $1,000. I'll take on anybody who wants to come in that ring and volunteer. I don't think you can do it. You know why? Because I'm going to send you back to the kitchen where you belong. I'm going to have you scrubbing the potatoes and washing the carrots. Because that's where you belong, ladies.
Well, as it turned out in Memphis, they had, I don't know, maybe a dozen or something like that, volunteers, and boy, the crowd ended up with Foxy. Now, Foxy is a very large lady. Andy Kaufman just barely got out of there with his money and his hide. He almost had too much to handle in Foxy.
At the beginning of that, if you look at it closely, you could see she was even taking advice from the great Jerry Lawler. Even the great Jerry Lawler, with his advice, she still couldn't do it.
Quite frankly, I told Eddie Marlin that I thought that in a week's time, I could get with this girl and teach her a few maneuvers where she could actually beat Kaufman. Now, I met with Foxy a couple times during the week. Andy added an extra stipulation to the second match. He said not only did if she could beat him, not only did she get the $1,000, but Andy would marry her.
I got an idea, Mr. Andy Kaufman, before you raise your hand now.
Jerry Lawler making comments.
For 4 weeks to the house of viewer. Why don't you give her another 3 minutes, okay?
And I don't know why Jerry Lawler's getting his nose into it. He has nothing to do with this, and he's saying, let's give him another 3 minutes. He should keep his nose out of my business.
I had agreed to be in Foxy's corner and give her pointers during the match. And here was a guy who they obviously didn't like because of the things he had said about women. And Andy Kaufman, after already pinning her, had her down, rubbing her face in the mat, and there's 10,000 people hollering, "Hey, Jerry, get in there and do something."
Seconds. The winner and still the intergender champion in 8 minutes 35 seconds, Andy Kaufman.
that's really where it all started. I finally went into the ring, and just to kind of lift Andy up off of her, it was like he sailed halfway across the ring, landed on his back, and jumped up screaming that he was going to sue everybody inside.
Congratulations, Barkley. You almost had him more than one time. He was too close to the rope. You kept getting the rope. Once again, the time, ladies and gentlemen, 8 minutes, 35 seconds. Andy Kaufman, the winner and still the entertainer.
It all went downhill from that.
I will sue you. You don't touch me. I am from Hollywood. I'll get Hollywood against you, baby. I'll sue you, baby. Lawler, I don't wrestle men. You don't touch me, baby. I'll sue you for everything you've got. You won't have anything left when I'm through with you.
California, the home of movie stars and lawyers. It's the capital of sin. And he's got a single rule that he lives by, that he never wrestles men. No, and he never wrestles men. No.
Hello, Mr. Lawler, Jerry Lawler. Do you remember me? I'm Andy Kaufman from Hollywood. Remember you pushed me around in the ring last time I was down in Memphis, Tennessee? Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Lawler. I am not a hick. I am not from Memphis, Tennessee. I don't come from Tennessee like you do, okay? I come from Hollywood, California, where I make movies and TV shows. I am a national television star, and I want the respect that I deserve when I come down to Memphis. And I don't like any hick like you pushing me around in the ring. I never agreed to wrestle you. I was wrestling someone else. You stuck your nose in. You came in the ring. You pushed me around, and now you know what I'm going to do? Mr. Lawler, I have a lot of money, okay? A lot of money. And I've hired a lawyer, and I am going to sue you for every cent that you've got. Every cent that you're worth. You will be in debt to me for the rest of your life. You'll never eat again when I'm through with you. You'll wish you never heard the name Andy Kaufman. Do you hear me? Do you believe me? You don't believe me? Just in case you don't believe me, I brought my lawyer with me. You'll meet him right now, Mr. Bob Zamuda.
Well, Mr. Kaufman, the bottom line is this. The law is the law. Assault and battery is assault and battery. It does not matter if this man attacked you viciously on the street of New York City or in L.A. Well, it wouldn't happen in Los Angeles here. But in the South, if you were attacked on the street or if you were attacked in a wrestling ring, you did not sign any contract that you were going to wrestle that man that evening.
That's right.
He jumped in the ring. He hit you. It's just as much if a spectator jumped in that ring and hit you over the head, like this man clubbed you. I saw the tape.
Tell me, do I have a case?
Oh,
do I have a case, Mr. Zamuda?
You have a perfect case.
Well, let me just say this, Andy Kaufman. You can sue me, and you can get all of these. This lawyer looks like the kind of guy that specializes in whiplash cases, you know, that chases the ambulances. You can get all the lawyers you want to, Andy Kaufman, and you can sue me all you want to, but I've got a very simple solution for you, wimp. And I've realized that he's obviously got somebody taping this, or he's going to find out what I say. So if Andy Kaufman wants to live out his fantasy of being a wrestler, I can let him live that out real easily, Lance. If he would ever once step into the wrestling ring with a man, you would see what it would be like to be a wrestler, and it would end your fantasies and end your dreams in just about 30 seconds, and you would never want to be in a wrestling ring again. So if you want to do that, we can settle it two ways, Andy Kaufman. We can settle it in court, which your case is a joke. You know, Lance, I barely pushed the guy. That's a joke. Or what I would propose, and what I think everybody would love to see, is that Andy Kaufman come and get in the ring with a real wrestler and let him see what it's like to really wrestle.
You know what, Mr. Lawler?
I've heard all these things you've been saying about me on television. You want to wrestle me? You want to wrestle me, Memphis style? All right, fine. I'm not afraid of you, Mr. Lawler, because let me tell you something. True, I only wrestle women, but I've wrestled women that are a lot bigger and stronger than you. Matter of fact, they're probably smarter than you because you don't have any brains. You're from Memphis, Tennessee. All you do is plow the fields and farm and the farm and is that how you talk with Memphis, Tennessee, Mr. Lawler? Buh. See, Mr. Lawler, you don't have any brains. I'm from Hollywood. I have the brains. That's how I win my matches. I say the bigger they come, the harder they fall. You might be twice as big as me, but I've wrestled women that are twice as big as me, and I've mopped the floor with them. And that's what I'm going to do with you, Mr. Lawler. You challenged me to a wrestling match. I think you bit off a little more than you can chew.
Well, Andy, I got news for you. I'm going to show you what it's like to be a real professional wrestler. Because it's very different from climbing in the ring with women when you're going to be climbing in the ring with me.
I'm going to wipe the floor with you, Mr. Lawler. I'll give you a little sample. This is what's going to happen when you and I wrestle each other in Memphis. Come here. What's your name?
Susan,
How tall are you, Susan?
6 foot,
And how much do you weigh?
327.
327 pounds. That's a lot more than you weigh, Lawler. Okay? Watch this. Let's go.
Come on, baby! That's what's just gonna happen to you, Lawler! See? Come on, baby! Come on!
Andy, I think you really hurt her.
Doesn't matter. She doesn't have any money. She's poor. She can't sue me.
See, I can do anything I want!
Put the camera
Come
off.
on!
Shut this camera
off! Come on, baby! Wrestle!
Because I got news for you, Andy Kaufman. I make my living. I put my food on the table by wrestling. And it's a very serious sport to me. And I don't like anybody like you coming around and making fun of it or thinking that they can do it just come walking in off the street. So I'm going to show you just how serious it is. So don't expect any mercy from me, Andy Kaufman.
Is that how you talk with Memphis, Tennessee, Mr. Lawler? Buh.
Because when you climb in that ring, I'm going to consider you a professional wrestler, and I'm going to burst your bubble about being a wrestler. And it'll be the last time you ever want to wrestle, it'll be the last time you ever want to step in the ring, and it'll be the last time that you fantasize about being a wrestler. Andy Kaufman, you're going to get hurt, son.
Kaufman's in the ring, but not for long. Look at him. He's outside again, running away. He's gone again. Andy, he didn't want any part of it.
Let me ask you something. Did you come down here to wrestle or act like an ass?
And Lawler right now is saying, here it is, come and get me in the headlock. I'm going to let you have this shot. Kaufman's not sure at all about it, but Lawler is. Come and get that headlock on me, Andy. Do your best.
Slammed Kaufman on a side suplex. Kaufman is down and maybe out. Now his leg's twitching. Lawler with a pile driver. Only the second move by Lawler, and bang goes Kaufman. It's going to be a disqualification. Danny Davis, his manager, not believing it. Jerry Lawler, 6 minutes and 50 seconds with a pile driver, has been disqualified. The winner by disqualification, Andy Kaufman. 6. Lawler rolling call. He's going to give it to him again. He figures he's already lost it. Andy Kaufman's personal manager, George Shapiro, is screaming at Lawler. He can see his star. Zamuda telling him to get him out of the ring. Lawler, one of the most destructive holds. Kaufman is talking, but he is not moving.
How tall are you, Susan?
6 foot,
And how much do you weigh?
327.
327 pounds. That's a lot more than you weigh, Lawler. Okay? Watch this. Let's go.
Come on, baby! That's what's just gonna happen to you, Lawler! See? Come on, baby! Come on!
Andy, I think you really hurt her.
Doesn't matter. She doesn't have any money. She's poor. She can't sue me.
See, I can do anything I want!
Put the camera
Come
off.
on!
Shut this camera
off! Come on, baby! Wrestle!
Because I got news for you, Andy Kaufman. I make my living, I put my food on the table by wrestling. And it's a very serious sport to me. And I don't like anybody like you coming around and making fun of it or thinking that they can do it just come walking in off the street. So I'm going to show you just how serious it is. So don't expect any mercy from me, Andy Kaufman.
Is that how you talk to me? I'm just sleep, Mr. Lawler?
Because when you climb in that ring, I'm going to consider you a professional wrestler, and I'm going to burst your bubble about being a wrestler. And it'll be the last time you ever want to wrestle. It'll be the last time you ever want to step in the ring. And it'll be the last time that you fantasize about being a wrestler. Andy Kaufman, you're going to get hurt, son.
Kaufman's in the ring, but not for long. Look at him. He's outside again, running away. He's gone again. Andy, he didn't want any part of it.
Let me ask you something. Did you come down here to wrestle or act like an ass?
And Lawler right now is saying, here it is, come and get me in the headlock. I'm going to let you have this shot. Kaufman's not sure at all about it, but Lawler is. Come and get that headlock on me, Andy. Do your best.
Slammed Kaufman on a side suplex. Kaufman is down and maybe out. Now his leg's twitching. Lawler with a pile driver. Only the second move by Lawler, and bang goes Kaufman. It's going to be a disqualification. Danny Davis, his manager, not believing it. Jerry Lawler, 6 minutes and 50 seconds with a pile driver, has been disqualified. The winner by disqualification, Andy Kaufman. 6. Lawler rolling call. He's going to give it to him again. He figures he's already lost it. Andy Kaufman's personal manager, George Shapiro, is screaming at Lawler. He can see his star. Zamuda telling him to get him out of the ring. Lawler, one of the most destructive holds. Kaufman is talking, but he is not moving.
I always thought wrestling wasn't real, but apparently, I guess, at least this one was.
I thought the whole affair with Andy Kaufman was finished.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am leaving. And I'm never coming back to Memphis again.
The next thing I know, he's on Letterman being slapped.
Well, I've never been able to actually tell the story of what went on at the David Letterman show. I finally felt that I had had enough of Kaufman, and I did slap him, and, you know, maybe I lost control there for a little bit. I understood from the David Letterman people that I became the first talk show guest to ever strike another guest. But anyway, I felt he had it coming, and Andy Kaufman went on the biggest tirade that you could ever imagine. There's no sailor that's ever been able to come up with this stream of obscenities that came from Kaufman. But then he picked up the cup of coffee and threw it at me, and of course I went after him. And
I thought if anything could sober him up, that would.
I think from that point, or I think at that point, especially, you know, with his conduct there in front of all of those people, I think that's where he really might have lost it right there.
The audiences were confused. They were very many times confused that maybe that this is, if his name is Andy Kaufman, he's out on this TV show and going mad, then he must be mad.
This has been a very hard week for me. Why? I don't, you know, I'm not trying to be funny right now. This is true.
One day we were having lunch at the commissary, and this is at Paramount, and I knew things were strange because you can tell he had on his wrestling clothes underneath. Just the way his shirt had that look underneath. You could see the tights underneath. And also that he was been taking now to wearing the belt underneath. And we knew then that we had to say and said, Ann, babe, sweet, we love you, but the whole intergender thing, you're gonna get hurt. You're pushing yourself too hard.
I think, yeah, I was nervous. I was worried about Andy, and then the neck brace and stuff. But, you know, you never knew. I mean, you never knew with Andy.
Because of last week's show, my job at Taxi is in jeopardy.
He asked me for money, and I said, fine, as long as you're not going to spend it on ropes or anything like that. I mean, or like, especially, once again, it's the same problem for me of buying wrestling gear or anything like that, or using it to finance another bout, or a mat. I mean, I know you can tell when he wants money for a mat. He had that look.
I don't know how many matches he might have staged at his house, because he had a wrestling mat there at his home.
When I saw him on the streets of New York panhandling, I mean, I was there for a Thanksgiving vacation, and there he was begging.
My friends won't talk to me, and my wife, I'm in the middle of, thanks to last week, I'm in a separation with my wife.
You just didn't know with Andy. You see, you never were sure.
There's always that thing, oh my gosh, this time it's for real.
I was just trying to have fun.
It was just sad that it went so far. No one knew, and no one could stop it. It's too bad.
And maybe I went too far, I don't know. That's what most people are telling me.
People would look at him and say, nah, that can't be Andy Kaufman.
I don't see anything wrong with trying to... I was...
Well, how do you tell a friend to stop wrestling? It's hard.
He's crazy.
And I'll tell you, I'm not going to stop now. I won't stop until I find someone who's going to put Jerry Lawler into the hospital just like he did me. And it won't be for any 3 days. It won't be for a week. It'll be for a month, maybe for a year. Jerry Lawler will not want to go back into professional wrestling when I'm through with him, because I'm offering $5,000 to any wrestler that can put him in the hospital. And I'm dead serious about this, ladies and gentlemen. I will not stop until Jerry Lawler is in the hospital.
I want you to take a good look at this piece of film. There's been a lot of men come through here, brother, and they've done a lot of things to the king. There's been men bigger, as you can see right here, bigger and a lot better than your stinking assassins. And, brother, I've had it all done to me by each and every one of them. They've come from all corners of the world. Terry Funk, Kendo Nagasaki, Crusher Blackwell, Nick Bockwinkel, Handsome Jimmy Valiant breaking bottles over my head, Joe LeDuc throwing me on the table. But let me tell you something, brother, I'm still here. Do you see that? I'm always going to be here. It's going to take more than you, Kaufman, and more than you, Hart, and more than your stinking assassins to do away with the king. Brother, he who laughs last laughs best, and I promise you, I swear to God, I'm going to have the last laugh on you bum.
King!
Isn't that enough?
All of these shenanigans by Kaufman were absolutely inconceivable. He goes out, he hires other wrestlers, hired these guys to come in here and cripple Lawler, put Lawler out of the business.
Squeeze him, and he lifted up on Lawler, bent him all the way back on the right foot. And Kaufman comes in, puts a foot in the back again of Lawler.
I just cannot understand Kaufman's obsession with this.
And Kaufman slapping him. That's got to be a worse indignity than it is anything else to Jerry.
I believe that was just Andy's way of living out his fantasies.
Woo, and as Lawler slips out of the way, he nails the Colossus. Lawler's got him. Hart trying to get the big guy loose from the ropes. And look at Lawler go to work on him. He picks Andy up. He's going to suplex him. He suplexed him down, and now he rolls him over for the pile drive. Nope, a body slam. Hart still trying to get the big guy out of the ropes where Lawler pinned him in. He's going for the suplex. Lawler setting him up, and as he gets him in the air, the Colossus slams him in the back of the neck with a double-handed chop.
Next time, I will not make that mistake.
Next time.
That's right, next time.
I will come back. Tell me that you are crazy enough.
Mr. Russell, I have a lot of money. I make thousands. I make millions of dollars in Hollywood. Oh, come on, let's talk. Don't waste your time. I am offering $5,000 to any wrestler that will put Lawler in the hospital. Any wrestler that will pile drive him, and I'll do it myself. I'll get a guy to do it myself. Russell, I'll be back. He hasn't seen the last of me, Russell.
Not only to what a lot of the people, I tell you what, genuinely don't like Kaufman, and with good reason.
And another thing I want to say is, you fans who started booing and hissing me tonight, don't try that again. Don't try that again. I am a star, and next time I come here, I want you all to get down on your knees and bow down to me. And if I pass you by, kiss my feet.
Yeah, okay.
You bunch of slimy hicks from Memphis, Tennessee. You hicks, go and plow the fields and the farms, you little hicks.
I think he's a stupid little wimp weasel.
I thought he was a jerk.
The guy, he goes out, he hires other wrestlers, sends wrestlers, and I'm telling you, big names, Ken Patera, former Olympian, big name.
And when you start to cough, and you start to choke, and quiver, and then you pass out, Jerry Lawler, and then the end result is that you wind up in a hospital bed in a neck brace, just like Andy Kaufman happened to wind up.
You know, I have a point to prove for him, to show him that this is a profession that we take very serious.
Well, we're back on the Jerry Lawler Show, and we don't want to waste any time because I've got some things I want to say to this guy. This is our bad guy interview segment, and this guy came in #2 on the turkey list. None other than Andy Kaufman, and there he is. You came in #2 on our turkey contest.
Listen, Lawler, I didn't know that you were having a contest like that, and if I'd known, I'll sue you. I'll sue you for having me on a contest like that. You are using my name, my face. My name is worth money, and you want to put me on a turkey contest? Let me tell you something. You put my head on the face on that turkey, and I'm going to sue you for slander and libel. That's making me look bad. And what are you trying to be like, David Letterman with the Jerry Lawler show? You're always telling me not to be in the wrestling business. Now you're trying to be in show business like me. You don't belong in show business. You should stay in the wrestling business, Lawler.
Why doesn't he go back and you know, stay a comic?
Lawler, I am going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I have been trained by the great Muhammad Ali. You don't know what you're up against. You're so cocky now. You think you're big stuff, big stuff. You haven't seen anything until you bit the iron fist of Andy Kaufman. You think I'm just a little man. Wait till you see I have been training, man. I have been training!
It was incredible. And he got I went from comedy to like the Roman arena in about 2 seconds.
Andy Kaufman was everywhere, and I just wanted to put an end to it.
I will get in the ring. I want peace and quiet. I want complete silence, and then I will get in the ring. Until I hear silence, I do not get in the ring. I want complete silence! Right now! Complete silence!
Like, you can't go out in front of 10,000 screaming people and say, I'm the big star. You know, he would do these things to incite people.
I know a lot of you don't like me. Well, I'm going to give you a little present tonight. Because I'm from Hollywood and I'm in show business, and I got paid a lot of money to do what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to sing you a little song. Oh, I'm the king. Oh, I'm the king. I'm the new king of Memphis, Tennessee. I knocked that Lawler out last week. I'm going to knock him out again. Yeah, I'm the king of Tennessee. I'm the king of wrestling, Tennessee. I knocked that Lawler out. I'm going to knock him out again. Yeah, I'm going to move on out. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think he's a jerk. I really didn't like him. I just didn't like him.
Forget Hollywood, forget Taxi, forget his career. All of a sudden, his main goal in life was being a thorn in the side of Jerry Lawler.
Kaufman getting loosened up now. He's ready. And here he comes. He's going at it. He says he does this hours at a time. Lawler just standing back laughing at him. Now he's walking out, I think, to get a closer look, Randy, is what I think. He can't believe what he's seeing. Section. He's going to take him on a suplex. And there goes Kaufman. Suplex by Lawler. The king on the second rope. Nails him with that big right hand.
What about your career, Andy? As are you planning on making boxing a career now, or what is it?
Lawler, I have a good career, okay, and I just do this for fun because I want to knock you out. I don't like what you did to me. And let me tell you something else, Lawler. Let me just tell you something else. I don't have to come here and be slandered by you, and I don't have to come here and be on some little rinky-dink show with you. I don't even know why I'm here doing this.
Something self-destructive in there for a guy like Andy Kaufman to keep coming back and wanting to get involved in something that has, I mean, it's just so totally hopeless for him.
Hey, Jimmy. You know, I'm from Hollywood. You should be from Hollywood, too. How could you stand it down here? The mentality is so low.
You're right. It is low. It is low, baby. It is low.
You're so stupid, you people. You're so stupid.
Andy Kaufman, I mean, that Yankee, he didn't have no place down here doing that stuff.
That's right.
He's not a wrestler.
It surprises me that, if you'll forgive the expression, a sane man would let himself get caught up in that.
Lance, this section of the country is the filthiest. I think these people, they live like pigs. They don't know how to act. I am going to teach them some lessons in manners, etiquette, and hygiene, Lance.
Actually, I thought his opinion stunk.
Kaufman has got some kind of compulsion to where he's going to have to finally end up getting himself seriously hurt.
Kaufman, Lawler got the fire right at him. The assassins come out of the ring. Lawler got up behind Andy Kaufman, nailed him right in the face.
I was sick and fed up with Andy Kaufman. You know, he had ridiculed me, he had ridiculed professional wrestling. I thought I taught him a lesson, but he kept coming back, he kept hounding me. Throwing the fire in his face was the way that I thought I would get rid of Andy Kaufman once and for all.
Could have killed him, maybe.
To me, what Jerry Lawler did to him, you know, he got what he deserved. I mean, really, he deserved all that.
I said, Jerry Lawler, my man. He's my man.
I didn't like him anyway. I didn't like his TV shows. I didn't like nothing about him.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Andy Kaufman, as of course most of you know. I have a lot of unfinished business in the South. First and foremost in my mind is taking care of that dumb hillbilly, Jerry Lawler. I really want to take care of him. That's most important to me. But I'm going to put that on the back burner for now. And I want to talk to you people out there, you people who live down here in the South, in the good old South portion of the United States. Okay? I want to talk to you, and I want to help you. Every week, I'm going to be coming on here, on this station, and I'm going to give you little tips about how you can better your lives and how I can bring you up from the level that you're in right now and bring you up from the squalor that you're living in, the gutter and the garbage that your lives are.
I thought he was trash himself.
This is a bar of soap. Now, does it look familiar to any of you? I know that you probably don't know what this is. You haven't ever seen one of these before, but it is called soap. Matter of fact, if you're sitting at home now, you can maybe kind of repeat after me and say soap. Say soap, S-O-A-P, soap. Not soap, not soap, it's soap, okay?
I mean, none of that stuff was true that he was talking about. We use soap down here.
You people, your hands are so greasy and slimy. I mean, I don't want to shake them. You know, you ask me for an autograph, I'll sign you an autograph. But please, don't put out your hand and shake it until you can wash your hands. Now, this is what you do. Wet your hands, okay? Then wet the soap. Wash the soap, rub it on your hands, and rub it around, and your hands will get clean.
Well, do I look dirty?
Low down, no good for nothing. He was just an asshole as far as I'm concerned. He didn't have no place down here.
Now, you ladies out there, this is a razor.
I'm not a Southern hillbilly.
Hair looks terrible when it grows out of a woman's armpit or on a woman's leg. And let me tell you something, you ladies, I have been down traveling around the South. I see you in your shorts, and I see some of the hairiest legs. Where have you people been raised? You take a razor and you shave under the armpits, and you shave up the leg like this, you see?
But it made a lot of my friends mad.
I believe they hated Andy Kaufman.
You probably may not be aware of this, but this is a very big problem in the South. A foul, foul smell in the air. Just take a whiff right now. As you're watching me, just go, take a whiff. You smell that? Oh, it's terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, this is toilet paper.
Calls us rednecks, said we don't take showers, don't know how to brush our teeth.
If you don't like my house, stay out of it.
And I'm telling you, we'd walk down the street and people would want to swing at him.
It is sold. All you got to do is buy it and use it. And you people should use it. And I'll tell you, I guarantee you, that will stop the foul smell. It will bring the smell up to a level so that at least the air in the South will be almost breathable.
If I saw that guy walking down the street right now, I'd kick his ass.
It can end up no way but for him to get hurt.
You would dismiss Kaufman totally from your mind. The next thing you know, this guy has got some other routine, and he is back here trying to get Jerry Lawler again. Jimmy Hart, who had a long history of hate with Jerry Lawler, well, here Jimmy Hart and Andy Kaufman have gotten together, and Hart, always fearful of that physical abuse, pushes Andy Kaufman into the fray, shoving Kaufman out front.
You talk me into this stuff, Hart. Wait a minute. I'm never going to trust you again. You run out of the ring and leave me there alone, and then he pile-drives me. I listen to you. That's what I get for listening to you. Wait a minute. Listen just a little bit more, if you don't mind, Mr. Hollywood. So I said, we'll count to 3 again. Maybe he didn't hear me. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, right? Okay, I go 1, 2, 3. I charge back again. Lawler likes to knock me in the middle of next week. I look back at Kaufman, and he's looking.
Here Jimmy Hart and Andy Kaufman have gotten together, and Hart, always fearful of that physical abuse, pushes Andy Kaufman into the fray, shoving Kaufman out front.
You talk me into this stuff, Hart. Wait a minute. I'm never going to trust you again. You run out of the ring and leave me there alone, and then he pile-drives me. I listen to you. That's what I get for listening to you. Wait a minute. Listen just a little bit more, if you don't mind, Mr. Hollywood. So I said, we'll count to 3 again. Maybe he didn't hear me. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, right? Okay, I go 1, 2, 3. I charge back again. Lawler likes to knock me in the middle of next week. I look back at Kaufman, and he's looking at his watch over there. So the backwards, Hart, that's what happened to me. You run out of the ring, you count to 3, you say, go at him. I go at him, and he gets me in a pile driver, Hart. Come on, Hart. You're such a chicken.
You see it the way you want to see it, Paul. You see it the way you want to see it. Hey, hit me. Now, listen.
Come on, Andy. I question sometimes whether Andy has at all times all of his faculty there. I just am not really sure.
And I will sue you. I will sue Hart. I will sue Lawler. I will sue everybody. I'll sue you all.
But Andy was quite sane.
I don't have a clue. I really don't. In reality, I don't have a clue. I don't know what drove him to that.
Jimmy Hart really tearing into Andy Kaufman. Referee Thomas Marlin trying to get them separated. We had a little experience with that on television. Oh, here comes Sweet Daddy-O. He grabs Kaufman.
This is a check. This is the check that I was offering to anyone who could put Jerry Lawler in the hospital. It's for $10,000. This is what I was going to offer any wrestler that could put Jerry Lawler in the hospital is going to get $10,000. I am offering this check to Jerry Lawler if he will come out here and say that he will be my partner in a match against Jimmy Hart.
With all the things that you've said and tried to do to Lawler, I can't really think that you think he's going to go up and be your partner in the ring, Andy.
That's past history. I said I learned my lesson. I was wrong.
Well, here's the king. Let's get out front here. Jerry, I assume you heard the conversation back here.
You know, I've seen so much from Andy Kaufman on television, just like everybody else has, that this is a little hard to swallow. If I might just be quite frank with you.
Yeah, come on in here. He's not going to.
You're right.
Mr. Lawler, Jerry, whatever, you're right. I've learned a lesson. I admit that I was wrong all this time. I'm sorry for everything that I've done. I just want a chance to get it the Hart without one of his goons coming out and getting on me. I want a chance to get him one-to-one. I know that with you in my corner, that won't happen. You'll be able to stop whoever he has. I want a chance. Now, I hate Hart, okay? And I think you hate Hart, too. Now, I want to just get a chance to do what I can to Hart.
Now, that all sounds real good, but I also remember seeing you on television right here on this show saying, I hate Lawler, and and all of this stuff. What was that right?
You remember? That was only just talk. I was just running off at the mouth. I've been very obnoxious, and I'm sorry. If you'd please be in my corner, I will gladly pay you this $10,000.
Let me just say this. Let me make a little proposition to you. I'll be your partner against Hart and whoever he brings. If you'll agree that that match will be the last time you step in a wrestling ring.
Yes. I'll agree to that.
You heard the proposition now. You won't wrestle, not just here, anywhere.
I will do anything to get you in my corner against Hart so I can beat Hart without any interference.
He promises never to wrestle again. That's enough for me. You keep your money. I'll go down to the ring with you. Can you add that? Can you get? We'll get Eddie Marlin. You add the match.
We'll take a break here and check with.
On my right, the head of the first family of professional wrestling, Jimmy Hart, and he is selected as his partner, one of the world tag team title holders, the Assassin. Introducing on my left, wrestling out of Hollywood, California, Andy Kaufman, and his partner, Jerry the King Lawler.
Jimmy Hart coming in with one of the world tag champions, the Assassin. He's certainly got the bulk on his size. He goes in at over 300 pounds. The opposition, Andy Kaufman, Jerry Lawler. Kaufman, who made the promise to Lawler that he would not wrestle again. He so wants to get a hold of Jimmy Hart. Lawler comes with that right hand. Kaufman turns on Lawler and throws the powder right in Lawler's eyes, and Hart and Kaufman embrace. 2 minutes and 46 seconds. It's going to be a disqualification, as it was all a great big put on by Andy Kaufman, and Lawler is the butt of the joke. Hart and Kaufman all stomping away on Lawler. Going for another pile driver on Lawler, and they slam him hard into the canvas.
The official decision by the referee of disqualification of the team of Hart and the Assassin because of Kaufman's action. So the winner will be Jerry Lawler by disqualification of 246.
Hello, everybody. Okay.
Bubbling over today.
The new king of professional wrestling. King of wrestling. Thank you very much. Jerry Lawler, you're somewhere in a hospital bed right now, aren't you? You're sitting there and you're suffering. Your neck is in traction. I promised you a year ago that I would get even with you. I promised. It took brains, not brawn. It took brains.
I think the wrestling has definitely cost Andy Kaufman his career, yes. There's no doubt about it.
I don't know. I think some people were saying, Andy, come back to us, come back. But it was too late.
Oh, I'm the king. Oh, I'm the king. I'm the new king of Memphis, Tennessee. I knocked that Lawler out last week. I'm going to knock him out again. Yeah.
The things that he would come up with, you'd have to be crazy to do.
He really walked that edge.
I'm the king of Tennessee. I'm the king of wrestling Tennessee. I knocked that Lawler out. I'm gonna knock him out again. Yeah!
I think Andy Kaufman was his happiest when he was wrestling and there were 10,000 wrestling fans screaming and yelling for his head.
Fathoming why Andy wrestled is like wondering what's at the bottom of Mariana's Trench.
It's an enigma.
I really knew it was really far gone when he put me in a headlock and said goodbye.
Andy always dreamed of wrestling. Andy always dreamed of wrestling. He could see himself in the ring with bulging